Imagine a garden, not just any garden, but a paradise. Lush, vibrant, overflowing with life. This is the Garden of Eden, where God placed Adam and Eve, the first humans. Created in God's image, they lived in perfect harmony with nature and their creator. Adam and Eve were given dominion over all living things and access to every tree in the garden except one. This exception, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, stood at the center, a tempting beacon, forbidden by God. Life in Eden was idyllic. Adam and Eve coexisted peacefully with the animals, their days spent tending the garden and enjoying the fruits of their labor. Their relationship with God was pure and intimate. They walked with Him in the cool of the day, their hearts filled with love and gratitude. But this blissful existence was about to be challenged, their faith in God put to the ultimate test. Eden, a place of innocence and purity, was about to witness the fall of man. Slithering through the Garden of Eden, a cunning serpent, more cunning than any beast of the field, set his sights on Eve. The serpent, often interpreted as Satan in disguise, began to weave his web of deceit.
Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden"?
Eve, taken aback by the serpent's audacity, corrected his misinterpretation of God's words. She clarified that they were free to eat from any tree except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. To eat from that tree, God warned, was to die.
You will not certainly die.
He tempted Eve with the promise of enlightenment, suggesting that God was withholding something precious. The serpent insinuated that by eating the fruit, their eyes would be opened, and they would become like God, knowing good and evil. The seed of doubt was planted. Eve, her gaze lingering on the forbidden fruit, began to see it differently. No longer was it a symbol of obedience, but a gateway to wisdom and power. The serpent's words echoed in her mind, a subtle poison seeping into her heart. The forbidden fruit, once so unappealing, now seemed irresistible to Eve. The serpent's words had taken root, twisting her perception of God's command. She saw the fruit as desirable, a source of knowledge and pleasure. Driven by curiosity and a desire for wisdom, she reached out and plucked the fruit from the tree of knowledge. She took a bite, the sweet juice exploding across her tongue. In that instant, something shifted within her. Her eyes opened, but not to the divine wisdom the serpent promised. Instead, a new and terrifying awareness washed over her. She saw her nakedness, and a sense of shame, alien and unfamiliar, gripped her heart. Eve, now acutely aware of her vulnerability, sought out Adam. She offered him the fruit, her voice filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation.
Here, Adam, try this.
Adam, faced with a choice, to obey God or follow his wife, succumbed to temptation. He took the fruit from her hand and ate. In that moment, the world as they knew it shattered, the consequences of their disobedience echoing through the Garden of Eden. The perfect harmony they shared with God was broken. Section 4. Eyes wide open, shame and fear enter the world. The moment Adam took a bite of the forbidden fruit, a wave of shame washed over them both.
Their eyes were opened, as the serpent promised, but not in the way they expected.
They became aware of their nakedness, a state that had once been natural and pure, now a source of fear and vulnerability.
Fear, an emotion previously unknown to them, now gripped their hearts.
The once familiar rustling of leaves sounded like approaching footsteps. Each shadow seemed to harbor God's disapproving gaze. The intimacy they once shared with their Creator was replaced with a sense of dread.
Driven by this newfound fear and shame, they sewed fig leaves together, attempting to cover themselves.
The very act of hiding was a testament to their disobedience. They could no longer face God with the same innocence and trust. The harmony of Eden was shattered, replaced by a chilling awareness of their transgression. Their disobedience had consequences, not just for themselves, but for all humanity. Section 5. The price of disobedience, God's judgment. As dusk fell upon the Garden of Eden, casting long shadows across the now tainted paradise, God called out to Adam and Eve.
Where are you?
His voice echoed through the garden, a blend of sorrow and disappointment. Adam and Eve, cowering among the trees, their fig leaf garments a poor attempt to mask their shame, answered their Creator with trembling voices.
Fear, a foreign emotion in this once perfect paradise, prevented them from meeting God's gaze.
God, in his infinite wisdom, already knew what had transpired. He questioned them, not to gain information, but to elicit confession, to offer them a chance to take responsibility for their actions.
Adam, blaming Eve.
And Eve, in turn, blaming the serpent, revealed the depth of their transgression.
Their attempts to evade accountability only solidified their disobedience. God, with heavy heart, pronounced his judgment.
The serpent, cursed to crawl on its belly and eat dust, became a symbol of temptation and deceit. Eve, forced to endure pain in childbirth and submit to her husband's rule, represented the consequences of desire and disobedience. Adam, condemned to toil the land for his sustenance, symbolized humanity's struggle against the forces of nature.
Section 6. Beyond the Gates of Eden, the Lasting Legacy. The consequences of Adam and Eve's actions extended far beyond the boundaries of Eden. Their disobedience brought sin into the world, fracturing the perfect relationship between humanity and God.
Cast out of the Garden of Eden, they were forced to confront a world now tainted by their choices.
The Garden of Eden, a paradise lost, became a poignant reminder of what was forfeited. The story of Adam and Eve serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of temptation, the importance of obedience, and the enduring consequences of our choices.
But even in their expulsion, there is a glimmer of hope. God, in his infinite mercy, provided Adam and Eve with clothing, a symbolic act of protection and grace.
Their expulsion from Eden, while a punishment, was also an act of love. It prevented them from living in a perpetual state of disobedience, offering them a chance for redemption, a journey back to their Creator. The fall, while marking the end of paradise, also signified the beginning of the human story. A story fraught with challenges and triumphs, a testament to the enduring power of faith, forgiveness, and love.